Act 1. Sorin's estate. A makeshift stage thrown together for a private performance. Yakov is heard hammering on the stage behind the lowered curtain.
Why do you always wear black?
I'm in mourning for my life. I'm unhappy.
I don't get it. My life's a lot harder than yours. I earn 23 rubles a month, and you don't see me going around wearing all black.
It's got nothing to do with money. You can be poor and still be happy.
That's true in theory, but not in reality. Look at my life. My mother, my 2 sisters, and my brother all depend on my salary. We have to eat and drink, don't we? We need tea and sugar. I need my tobacco.
Oh, the play's going to start soon.
I love you. Every day I walk 4 miles to see you and 4 miles back, and all I ever get from you is indifference.
I'm touched by your love, but I can't return it.
No, thank you.
It's humid. There's going to be a storm. All you ever do is talk and theorize about money. You think there's nothing worse than being poor, but to me it's 1,000 times easier to go begging in rags than to... Oh, you'll never understand.
The country doesn't suit me. Last night I went to bed at 10 and woke up at 9. Felt like my brain was sticking to my skull, you know what I mean. Then after lunch, I fell asleep again. It's like living in a nightmare.
You really should live in the city. My friends, we'll call you when the play begins, but you can't be here now. Please go away.
Maria Ilyich, would you please ask your father to leave the dog unchained? Last night it howled so much my sister couldn't sleep.
Ask him yourself. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Come on.
You'll let us know when the play is starting, won't you?
The dog's going to howl again tonight. You know, I used to come down for a month's rest, if you know what I mean. But there'd be so much nonsense to put up with that after the first day, I couldn't wait to leave again. Now I'm retired with nowhere else to go. And on it goes, like it or not.
Konstantin Gavrilovich, I'm going for a swim.
That's fine. Just be back in 10 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, our little theater. God, we have the curtain, and beyond that, nothing. Just empty space. No set at all. In the background, we see the lake and the horizon. We'll raise the curtain at exactly 8:30 as soon as the moon is rising.
Wonderful.
I mean, of course, the whole effect will be ruined if Nina's late. Her father and stepmother watch her so closely. Getting her out of the house is like a prison break. God, your hair and beard are a mess. You need a trim.
Oh, it's the tragedy of my life. I've always looked as if I've already had a few drinks, if you know what I mean. Women never liked me. Why is my sister in such a bad mood?
Why? Because she's jealous and bored, and she's not acting in my play, and Nina is. She already hates the play, even though she hasn't read it.
You're imagining things.
She can't handle the fact that even on this little stage, it'll be Nina's triumph and not hers. You know, my mother is a psychological enigma. She's smart and talented, obviously, able to cry her eyes out over some novel. She can recite the poetry of Nekrasov by heart, nurse the sick, but just try praising Dusa in front of her. She's the only one you can praise. You have to rave about her performance in La Dame comme il est.
Oh, you've decided your mother doesn't like your play, but it's all in your head. Your mother adores you.
Oh, she loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not. You see, my mother doesn't love me. And why should she? When I'm away, she's only 32. But when I'm around, she's 43, and she hates me for it. And she knows I can't stand the theater. She thinks she's working for the benefit of humanity and serving art. But when I see the curtain rise on those great geniuses trying to reproduce how people eat, drink, talk, while some playwright gives us another oversimplified moral, when I'm presented with 1,000 variations of the same old thing, I run away. Like Maupassant ran from the Eiffel Tower because it threatened to crush him with its vulgarity.
Oh, But we need the theater.
New forms. We need new forms. If we can't have that, we'd be better off with nothing. You know, I love my mother, but she leads an insane life. She is always worrying about that writer she lives with and whether or not her name's in the papers. I'm sick of it. When I find myself surrounded by celebrities and I'm the only non-famous person, I know the only reason they put up with me is because I'm her son. Otherwise, who am I? What have I done? I left university. I have no qualifications. On my passport, it says I'm a citizen from Kiev. My father was a citizen from Kiev, though he was a well-known actor.
By the way, what's Trigorin like? I can't figure him out. He's so quiet.
He's intelligent, actually. Unpretentious, a little sad. I mean, he's not even 40, but he's already famous. As for his work, what can I say? He's clever, talented, but I mean, if you've read Tolstoy or Zola, there's no reason to read Trigorin.
I like writers. My two great passions in life were to get married and be a writer. I never accomplished either of them. It would have been nice to have been even a minor writer, if you know what I mean.
She's coming. Oh, I can't live without her. Even the sound of her footsteps is like music to me.
I'm not late, am I? I'm not late.
No.
Oh, I've been so nervous all day. I thought my father would stop me from coming, but he and my stepmother went out. The sky was clear. The moon was rising. I spurred my horse to go faster and faster.
My dear, you look like you've been crying. Don't cry.
Oh, it's nothing. We have to hurry. I only have half an hour. Don't ask me to stay any longer. My father doesn't know I'm here.
We should start. We need to tell everyone.
I'll call them. Dum, dum, da, dum, bum. You know, I was singing that once when a colleague of mine said, "You have a powerful voice." Then he thought for a moment and said, "Powerful, but terrible."
My father and his wife won't let me come here. They think it's bohemian.
We're alone.
Is it that someone?
No.
They kiss.
Oh, what kind of tree is that?
An elm?
Well, why is it so dark?
It's evening. Everything looks dark. Look, don't leave so soon, please.
I have to.
Oh, what if I followed you home? If I stood in your garden all night gazing up at your window?
Don't. The watchman will see you. And Treasure isn't used to you. He'll bark.
I love you.
Shh.
Who is that? Yakov?
Yes, sir.
It's time. Places. Is the moon rising?
It is, sir.
Is the sulfur ready? There must be a smell of sulfur when the red eyes light up.
Yes.
But go now. Everything's ready. Are you nervous?
Yes. Very. It's not your mother I'm worried about. It's Trigorin. A famous writer. I'm terrified. Ashamed. Is he young?
Yes.
His stories are so wonderful.
I've never read them.
Your play is hard to act in. There aren't any living characters.
Living characters. Life must be represented not as it is, but as it appears to be, as you see it in your dreams.
Well, there's no action, just a lot of talk. And I always think there should be love in a play.
Ooh, it's getting damp. Oh, go back and put your boots on.
I'm fine.
You're a doctor. You know the damp air is bad for you. You just like to see me suffer. Last night you spent the entire evening on the terrace, and you did it on purpose. You were so engrossed in your conversation with Irina Nikolaevna, you didn't even notice the cold. Tell me the truth. You think she's attractive, don't you?
I'm 55 years old.
So what? That's nothing for a man. Women still think you're good looking.
It's logical that artists are treated differently by society than, say, businessmen. It's called idealism.
Women have always loved you and thrown themselves at you. Is that idealism?
What women like most about me is that I was an excellent doctor 10 years ago. Remember? I was the only decent doctor in this part of the country. And I've always behaved honorably.
Darling.
Quiet. Here they come. She gave an amazing performance at the Poltava Fair in 1873. Just incredible. Whatever happened to that comic actor, Shadin? He was brilliant in Krasinski's Wedding, even better than Sadovsky. Where is he now?
How should I know? You keep throwing these ancient names at me.
Pasha Shadin. There's no one like him anymore. The theater isn't what it used to be. It's true, there are fewer brilliant performances on the stage, but the general standard of acting is much higher than that. I can agree with you. Of course, it's a matter of taste. De gustibus non est disputatum.
When's it starting, dear?
In a minute, please be patient.
Thou turnst mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black granite spots as will not leave their taint.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, sowed in corruption.
A horn sounds from behind the curtain.
Ladies and gentlemen, the play is about to begin. O ye time-honored ancient mists floating above the surface of the lake, lull us to sleep and let us dream, and show us what will come to pass in 200,000 years.
In 200,000 years, there'll be nothing.
Then let them show us nothing.
Yes, let them. We're already asleep.
The curtain rises, revealing a view of the lake. The moon is above the horizon, its reflection in the water. Nina, dressed in white, is seated on a large rock.
All human beings, lions, eagles, partridges, antlered deer, geese, spiders, silent fish beneath the waves, starfish, invisible microscopic creatures, all living things have died out at last. For thousands of centuries, no living species has moved across the face of the earth. In vain, the poor moon shines her light. No longer is the whooping of cranes heard in the meadows, or the drone of beetles on the lime groves. All is cold, cold. All is void, void, void. All is terrible, terrible. All the bodies of all the living creatures have turned to dust. And all the laws of eternal matter have turned them into stone and water and clouds. But their spirits have melted into one universal soul. I am that soul. In me live the spirit of Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Caesar, Shakespeare, and of the lowliest leech. Human consciousness and animal instinct have combined within me. I know everything, everything, everything.
Oh, it's high art.
Mother!
I'm alone. Once every 100 years, I raise my voice to speak, and my voice echoes mournfully across the desert earth, and no one hears. Not even you, pale fires, can hear me. The stagnant marsh pushes you out into the darkness, and you flit, wavering until dawn, unthinking, unreasoning, unwarmed by the breath of life. And Satan, afraid that the spark of life should glow in you, has shuffled your atoms inside you so that your fate is continuous change. I alone, the spirit of the universe, am immutable and eternal. like a prisoner in a deep dungeon. I don't know where I am or what I'm waiting for. Only one thing is not hidden from me: the knowledge that my stubborn and fierce battle with the devil, the origin of all material forces, I am destined to be victorious. Matter and spirit will merge in glorious harmony, and universal freedom will be born. But this can only come to pass in small degrees, after countless eons, after the moon and the earth and the brilliant Cyrus have turned to dust. Until then, horror, horror, horror.
2 glowing red spots appear to be shining against the lake.
Satan! My mighty adversary grows near. I see his terrifying crimson eyes.
I smell something burning. Is that on purpose?
Yes!
I see it's a special effect.
Mother!
He longs for man.
You have taken off your hat again. Put it on or you'll catch a cold.
The doctor's taken his hat off as to pay his respects to Satan, father of eternal matter.
That's it. Play's over. Lower the curtain.
What are you so angry about?
The curtain. Lower the curtain. I'm sorry. I forgot that the theater is only for the chosen few. I've broken the monopoly.
What's the matter with you? What's the matter with him?
Irina, you should be more careful with a young man's pride.
Why? What did I say?
You hurt his feelings.
But he told us himself the play was a joke, so that's how I treated it.
Still.
And now he turns out he's written a masterpiece? Come on. He's arranged this performance and fumigated us with sulfur to teach us how plays should be written? I'm sick of these constant insults. It's enough to try anyone's patience. He's willful, egotistical.
He's only trying to please you.
In that case, why didn't he choose an ordinary play rather than making us sit through this pretentious piece? I don't mind if it's a joke, but he's pretending to introduce us to a new form, a new era in art.
Everyone writes the way he feels to the best of his ability.
Let him write what he feels then, but leave me out of it.
When Jupiter is angry, Jupiter is wrong.
I am not Jupiter. I'm a woman. And I'm not angry. I just hate to see a young man waste his time. I didn't mean to hurt his feelings.
You can't separate the spirit from the material matter, because the spirit itself might consist of material atoms. Someday someone should write a play about the life of a teacher. It's a hard life, a really hard life.
Yes, I'm sure, but let's not talk about plays or atoms anymore. It is a lovely evening. Listen, can you hear the singing? How sweet it sounds.
It's coming from the other side of the lake.
Sit next to me, Trigorin. 5 or 10 years ago, we had music and singing by the lake almost every night. I remember noise and laughter and romance. So much romance. And the object of worship was none other than this man, the doctor. He's still handsome, but in those days he was irresistible. My conscience is beginning to bother me. What made me hurt my poor boy's feelings? Kostya! Kostya!
I'll find him.
Oh, would you? Thank you, dear.
Of course. Konstantin! Konstantin!
It doesn't look like we're going on.
Brava! Brava!
Yes, bravo. We did admire you. You must not stay in the country with your looks and your marvelous voice. It's a sin. I'm sure you must be talented. It is your duty to go on stage.
That's my dream, but it'll never happen.
How do you know? Maybe it will. Let me introduce you to Boris Alexievich Trigorin.
I'm pleased to. I've read everything you've written.
There's no need to be shy, dear. He might be famous, but he's a simple man at heart. You see, He's shy too.
It's a bizarre play, isn't it?
I didn't understand it at all, but I enjoyed myself. Your acting was very sincere, and the setting's beautiful. There must be a lot of fish in that lake.
Yes.
I love fishing. For me, there's nothing better than sitting on the shore at twilight watching my line.
I would think that for someone who understands the joy of creation, no other pleasures could exist.
You mustn't say things like that. He doesn't know how to react when people flatter him.
I remember when the famous Silva was singing at the Opera House in Moscow. He hit the lower C. Well, imagine how astonished we were when one of the basses from our church choir boomed out, "Bravo, Silva," only a whole octave lower, like this. "Bravo, Silva." The entire theater was transfixed. The angel of silence has flown overhead.
I have to go. Goodbye.
So early? Oh, where are you going? We won't allow it.
Oh, my father's expecting me.
He's a tyrant. I guess it can't be helped. I hate letting you go.
If only you knew how hard it was for me to leave.
Someone should see you home.
Oh, no.
Please stay. Just one more hour.
No, I can't.
Such an unlucky girl. They say her mother's will left everything to her husband, and now he's made a will, leaving everything to his second wife, leaving Nina with nothing. It's scandalous.
It's true. Her father's a monster.
Come on. Let's go in. It's getting damp and my legs are aching.
Oh, you poor old thing. You can barely walk.
I can hear that dog howling again. Oh, can you please tell him to leave it off his chain?
He can't do that, sir. Thieves might break in the barn and steal the millet. A whole octave lower. Bravo, Silva. And he wasn't even a singer, just an ordinary member of the church choir.
How much does a member of the choir make?
Maybe I'm losing my mind, but I liked that play. There was something in it. When that girl talked about being alone and the devil's eyes appeared, I could feel my hands shaking. It was original, naive. I think that's him. I want to say something nice to him.
Everyone's gone inside.
I'm here.
Masha's been chasing me all around the garden. She's unbearable.
Konstantin, I really enjoyed your play. It's an odd piece, and I didn't get to see the ending, of course, but it made a real impression on me. You're very talented. You have to go on with your work. You've taken your subject from the realm of abstract ideas, as you should. A work of art should always express big ideas.
So you think I should keep going?
Yes, but only write about what's significant and eternal. I've had a quiet life, fulfilling, but if I'd been given the chance to experience the spiritual exaltation an artist achieves at the moment of creation, I would shed this material existence and everything connected to it and soar away to the heights above the earth.
Where's Nina?
She went home.
Home? Well, what am I going to do? I want to see her. I have to see her. I'm going over there.
Konstantin, your mother's looking for you. She's worried about you.
Tell her I've gone away. All of you, please, leave me alone. Stop following me around.
My dear boy, don't be like that. It isn't very kind.
Goodbye, Doctor. Thank you.
Youth. Youth.
Whenever people can't think of anything better to say, they say youth.
Filthy habit.
Shift the snuff. Dorn throws the snuff box into the bushes.
Filthy habit. They're playing music inside. We'd better go.
Just a minute.
What?
I feel like talking. Please help me. Help me, or I'm afraid I'll do something stupid. I can't go on like this.
What is it? How can I help you?
I'm in pain. Nobody knows how unhappy I am. I love Konstantin.
All this love. It must be the magic of the lake. But what can I do about it, my child? What? What?
Act 2. The lawn in front of Sorin's house. Arkadina, Dorn, and Masha are sitting. Dorn has a book open on his knee.
Masha, come stand next to me. You're 22 and I'm almost twice your age. Doctor, which one of us looks younger?
You do, of course.
And you know why? Because I work. My heart and my mind are always occupied, while you never move from one spot. You have no life. Also, I have a rule, which is to never look into the future. I never think about aging or death.
I feel like I was born 1,000 years ago. It's like I'm wearing a dress with an endless train. I often have no desire to live. Which is stupid, of course. I just need to give myself a good shake and snap out of it.
Also, I'm meticulous with my appearance as an Englishman. I'm clean and tidy, and my clothes and hair are always perfectly neat. Do you think I would ever leave the house half-dressed or with untidy hair? Masha, that's how I've kept my looks, by never letting myself go the way some men do. Look at me, light as a feather. I could play a girl of 15 if I wanted.
That may be, but if you don't mind, I'll go on reading. Where were we? The flower merchant.
No, the rats. No, come on, give it to me. It's my turn to read. The rats, let's see. Here it is. It's as dangerous for society to indulge novelists as it is for flower merchants to breed rats in their granaries. Similarly, once a woman has set her sights on a writer, she wins him over by indulging and flattering him. That might be true in France, but not here. We don't have ulterior motives. In this country, if a woman sets out to trap a writer, she's usually already fallen hopelessly in love. Take an obvious example, just look at me and Trigorin.
Guess whose father and stepmother have gone off to Tver and has 3 whole days of freedom.
Yes, I'm very happy. I'm all yours.
Look how adorable she is today.
Yes, and her pretty dress. Very nice. But we shouldn't praise her too much or we'll spoil her. Where's Boris Alexievich?
He's fishing.
I can't believe he isn't bored yet.
What's that?
Solo by Maupassant. The rest is... I'm worried about my son. Why is he so gloomy and depressed lately? He spends all his time down at the lake. I never see him.
He's unhappy. Would you recite something from his play? We never got to hear the ending.
You really want me to? It's so boring.
When he reads it himself, his eyes light up. He looks so beautiful and sad. Looks like a poet.
Sweet dreams.
Petrusha! Petrusha, are you sleeping?
No. No, of course not.
You're not taking your medicine, Petrusha.
Oh, well, I would, but the doctor won't give me any.
Imagine taking medicine at 60.
Even at 60, you still want to live.
All right, I'll give you some valerian drops.
I think he should visit a spa. Take the waters.
Yes, he might as well. Or not.
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
There's nothing to understand. I've said what I've said.
he should give up smoking.
Don't be ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. Wine and tobacco destroy the personality. After a cigar or a glass of vodka, you become like two different people. Your ego breaks in half, and you start to see yourself in the third person.
Ah, it's fine for you to talk. You've lived your life. But what about me? I've never lived. If you know what I mean, I've experienced nothing. You've been around and it's made you philosophical, but I want to live. That's why I drink sherry at dinner and smoke cigars and that kind of thing.
I'm all for taking life seriously, but to start taking medicine at 60 and regretting you didn't live more when you were young is just being silly.
It must be lunchtime. Oh, my foot's gone to sleep.
She's off to have a couple of drinks before lunch.
Poor girl's unhappy.
Meaningless words, Your Excellency.
You know, you talk like a man who's accomplished everything he set out to do in life.
Oh, is there anything more boring than living in this country, in the country? It's hot and quiet, and no one does anything but sit around and philosophize about life. What I wouldn't give to be sitting in a hotel room learning my lines right now.
I know exactly what you mean.
Ah, yes, it's much better to live in the city. You can sit in your study and you've got the telephone. And no one comes in who isn't announced first by the footman. And there are taxis and that kind of thing.
Good afternoon. I'm delighted to see you well. My wife tells me you're planning on going into town with her today.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. But how are you expecting to get there, madame? We're hauling rye today, and the workmen are busy. Which horses did you intend to take?
Which horses? How should I know which horses?
We have carriage horses.
Carriage horses? And where am I supposed to get them harnesses? This is... My dear lady, I am in awe of your talent. I'd gladly sacrifice 10 years of my life for you. But don't ask me for horses.
But what if it was necessary? This is just crazy.
Pardon me, my honored lady, but you have absolutely no concept of what it takes to run a farm.
Oh, not this again. If this was going to be this way, I'll leave for Moscow right now. Hire carriage horses from the village, or else I'll walk to the station.
In that case, I resign. Find someone else to manage your estate.
Every summer, it's the same thing. I come here and they insult me. I'm never setting place in this place again. And all this for a horse? My kingdom?
That's it. I've had it. I want every single horse brought here immediately.
How can they refuse Irina Nikolaevna like that? A famous actress? I would think that any wish, even the smallest whim, is much more important than anything to do with farming.
Well, what can I do? Put yourself in my place and tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Let's go find my sister and convince her not to leave. Impossible, man. Tyrant!
Oh, don't get up. Don't. We'll push you.
People are so dull. Your husband deserves to be thrown out. But all that's going to happen is that Sorin, old woman that he is, he and his sister will end up apologizing.
It's because he sent the carriage horses out into the field as well. These things happen every day. You have no idea how much it upsets me. It makes me ill. Look at me. I am shaking. Yevgeny, my love, let me come and live with you. Life is short. We're not young anymore. If we could just end our lives without having to hide and tell all these lies.
I'm 55 years old. It's too late to change my life.
I know why you're refusing. It's because of your other women. You can't invite all of them to come and live with you. And I'm sorry I'm annoying you.
It's all right.
Of course, you're a doctor. You can't avoid women. I know.
How's it going in there?
Irina Nikolaevna is crying, and Petya Nikolaevich is having an asthma attack.
I'd better tranquilize them both.
These are for you.
Thank you.
What pretty flowers. Why don't you give those to me? Give them to me. I'll take them. Ah!
How strange to see a famous actress crying. Over what? Nothing. And a famous writer, idolized by the public, written about in all the papers. His portrait is on sale everywhere. His books translated into foreign languages. He spends all day fishing and gets excited about catching a couple trout. I always thought famous people were arrogant, proud, that they despised common people, but here they are, crying over nothing and playing cards and losing their tempers just like everyone else.
Konstantin enters, carrying a gun and a dead seagull.
Are you alone?
Wait, yes?
Konstantin lays the seagull at her feet.
What's that supposed to mean?
I was cruel enough to kill this seagull. Now I'm laying it at your feet.
What's wrong with you?
I'm going to kill myself the same way.
I don't recognize you anymore.
I know. I haven't been myself since the day I stopped recognizing you. You're not the same with me. Your eyes are cold. I can tell I make you uncomfortable.
You've been in such a bad mood lately. Everything out of your mouth is dark and cryptic. I can't tell if you're trying to be symbolic or something.
It all started after the failure of my play. Women can never forgive failure. I burnt the manuscript, every last page. I can't believe you've turned away from me. It's as if I've suddenly woken up and found this lake empty and sunken into the earth. You didn't like my play. You have no faith in me. You think I'm mediocre and worthless, just like everyone else. And here comes Hamlet. Words, words, words. You feel that warmth of that sun already, don't you? Look at you. You're smiling. Your eyes melt and glow in its rays. I won't stand in your way.
Takes snuff, drinks vodka, always wears black, is loved by a school teacher.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Things have changed. It looks like we're leaving today. You and I will probably never meet again. It's a shame. I don't get to meet many young, interesting girls very often. I can't remember what it's like to be 18 or 19, and because of that, none of the young girls in my books ring true. I wish I could swap places with you just for an hour, just to see the world through your eyes and find out what kind of a little person you are.
I wish I could swap places with you too.
Me? Why?
To know what it's like to be a famous, talented writer. What's being famous like? How does it affect you?
How? It doesn't. At least I don't think it does. I've never thought about it.
What about when you read about yourself in the papers?
Well, when I get flattering notices, it cheers me up for a little while. If they attack me, I'm depressed for a day or two.
What an incredible existence! People are born into such different destinies. So some people plod through their empty, obscure lives, while other people like you, 1 in a million. Fate has dealt a meaningful, fascinating life.
You talk about fame and a happy life, and those are fine words. But you're young, and if you'll excuse me, a little naive.
But your life is extraordinary.
Is it? It's time for me to write. I have to go. Okay. Let's talk about this extraordinary life I lead. All day and night, I am haunted by one single obsessive thought. I have to write. I have to write. I have to write. And as soon as I finish one book, something forces me to write another, and then another, and then another. What's so extraordinary about that? I mean, even as I'm getting myself all worked up, I can't stop thinking that there's some unfinished story waiting for me. I see a cloud, and I think, that cloud looks like a grand piano. I must make a point of putting that in a story somewhere, a cloud floating by that looks like a grand piano. I catch a whiff of heliotrope, and I think, sickly smell worn by widows. I must make sure to use that when describing a summer evening. I noticed every phrase, every word either of us says, and I can't wait to add all these little phrases and words to my literary stockpile. And once I finish working, I go to the theater or I go fishing, hoping to find some peace. But no, there's some new subject rolling around in my brain, and then it's back to my desk, and I have to start all over again, writing. It's like that all the time. I can't escape myself. I feel like I'm being consumed by my own life. I must be insane, don't you think? I feel like people should treat me as if I'm some kind of lunatic, but instead it's all this praise and enthusiasm. So sometimes I think everyone's just humoring me, and any minute now, someone's going to creep up behind me and whisk me off to the asylum.
Konstantin's always inside his head. His intensity frightens me.
Well, when I was his age, many years ago, starting out, unknown and ignored, the work was pure torture. A minor author, before he's had success, feels clumsy, superfluous. His nerves are on edge, he's unhinged. He's irresistibly attracted to literary types and hovers around them, unnoticed and unrecognized, afraid to look anyone in the eye, like a compulsive gambler.
But I'm sure your inspiration and the creative process itself give you moments of divine pleasure and joy.
Yes, writing is a pleasure, and I like reading proofs. But the minute it's published, I can't stand to look at it immediately. It's all wrong. It was a mistake to write the thing in the first place. And then the public reads it and says, yes, he's charming and clever, but he's no Tolstoy. Or, it's very good, but Turgenev's Fathers and Son was much better. I mean, even after I'm dead, my friends will pass by my grave and they'll say, here lies Trigorin. He was a clever writer, but not as good as Turgenev.
I'm sorry, but I think you're exaggerating. You've been spoiled by success.
What success? I've never liked myself. As a writer, I don't like myself at all. The problem is I live in some kind of fog, and half the time, I don't even know what I'm writing about.
You don't appreciate how significant you are. You might be dissatisfied with yourself, but to everyone else, you're a great man. If I was a writer like you, I would dedicate my life to the service of people, knowing their true happiness depended on their attempt to rise to the heights I'd attained and attaching themselves to my chariot.
My chariot? Who are you comparing me with now? Agamemnon?
To reach that level, to be a writer or an actress, I'd be willing to endure the resentments of my family, to survive on bread and water and live in a garret, experience the disappointment and self-loathing. But in return, I would demand fame. Real fame. Oh, my head is spinning.
Boris Alexievich.
She's calling me. Probably I should go and pack. But I don't want to leave.
Do you see that house on the far shore?
Yes.
That's my mother's estate. I was born here. I've lived my whole life beside this lake. I know every little island on it.
It's a beautiful place. What's that?
A seagull. Konstantin shot it.
Lovely bird. I don't want to leave.
Can't you convince Irina Nikolaevna to stay? What are you writing?
Oh, sorry. Just making a note. I had a flash of a short story. A young girl grows up by a lake, as you have. She loves the lake. She feels happy and free there, like a seagull. And a man happens to come by and sees her, and for lack of anything better to do, he destroys her, like the seagull.
Boris Alexievich, where are you?
Coming. What do you want?
We're not going.
I'm dreaming.
Act 3. The dining room of Sorin's estate. A table at the center of the room. Trunks and boxes line the floor. Preparations for departures are evident. Trigorin is eating his breakfast. Masha is beside him.
It's the honest truth. If he'd seriously injured himself, I wouldn't have been able to live another day. But I do have a little courage. I have made up my mind. I'm going to tear this love out of my heart, and I'm going to rip it out by the roots.
How are you going to do that?
By getting married to Medvedenko.
The teacher?
Yes.
Isn't that overdoing it?
You don't know what it's like to love someone for years and years and not have any hope. Once I'm married, there won't be love, but at least there'll be a change. And there will be new troubles to deaden the old ones. Another drink? Don't look at me like that. Women drink more often than you think. They're just not so open about it as I am. Good health. You're a good person. I'm sorry to see you go.
If it was up to me, I wouldn't leave.
So ask her to stay.
No, she won't say now. Her son's been acting. First, he tried to shoot himself, and now it seems he's challenging me to a duel. Though I have no idea what I've done to provoke him. Isn't my writing? Isn't there enough room for everyone, old and new?
He's jealous. Can't you see that? Not that it's any of my business. You know, he's not very smart, my teacher. But he's a kind man. He's poor, but he loves me very much. Let me say goodbye and wish you a pleasant journey. Don't think badly of me. Send me your books and be sure to dedicate them. None of that best wishes stuff. Just write to Masha, who doesn't have any idea where she belongs or what she is doing in this world. Goodbye, my friend.
Odds are even.
Even.
No. I only had one P in my hand. I was trying to decide whether or not to become an actress. I wish someone would tell me what to do.
You can't give advice about things like that.
We're parting, and there's a chance we'll never see each other again. Will you take this medallion to remember me by? I had your initials engraved on it, and on the other side, the title of your book, Days and Nights.
That's beautiful. What a nice gift.
think about me sometimes?
I'll think about you. The way you were on that sunny day last week, remember? You wore your light dress and we talked, and there was a white seagull lying on the beach beside us.
Someone's coming. Before you leave, let me see you alone for a couple of minutes. Please, just a couple minutes.
Petrusha, you should stay home. How can you possibly pay people visits with your rheumatism? Who just left now? Nina?
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. We didn't mean to interrupt.
Days and Nights, page 121, lines 11 and 12.
Should I pack your fishing rods as well?
Yes, I'll need them, but you can give the books away.
Yes, sir.
Page 121, lines 11 and 12. Do we have any of my books in the house?
Yes, in the library. Corner bookcase.
Page 121.
Really, Petrusha, you should stay.
You're leaving. I'll be lonely without you.
What are you going to do in the village?
Oh, not much. They're laying a foundation stone for the new courthouse. I just want to wake up from this banal existence, even if it's only for an hour or two. I ordered the horses for 1 o'clock. We can go together.
Oh, no, you must stay here. Try not to get bored and don't catch a cold. Keep an eye on my son. Take care of him. Give him some direction. I'm going away and I'll never know why Konstantin shot himself. I think it was jealousy, so the sooner I can get Trigorin from here, the better.
It wasn't only jealousy. He's an intelligent young man, living in the country with no money, no position, no future ahead of him, and nothing to do. He's ashamed of being idle. He feels like some kind of parasite.
What am I going to do with him? Maybe you should join the army.
Let him have some money. He needs to be able to dress like a human being, at least. Just look at him. He's been wearing the same coat for 3 years. He doesn't even own an overcoat. Oh, come on. It wouldn't hurt much for him to see the world a little, go abroad or something. It wouldn't cost much.
Yes, but I could probably get him a coat. But as far as going abroad, no, I don't even see how I could manage a coat. I have no money. I don't, Sorin.
Of course. I'm sorry, my dear. You're a generous, magnanimous woman.
I have no money.
If I had anything, I would give it to him myself. But I have nothing, not a kopeck. The estate manager takes my pension from me and puts it all into the farm, and the cattle and the bees, and it's all wasted. The bees die, the cows die. They never let me have a horse.
Of course, I have a little money, but I'm an actress. My costume bills alone are enough to ruin me.
You're good and kind. Something's wrong with me. I don't...
Petrusha?
I feel dizzy.
Petrusha, darling, help! Help!
Oh.
Kostya, he's feeling faint.
No, I'm all right. I'm all right. You see, it's past.
I said, don't worry, Mother. Uncle often has these spells lately. You need to lie down, Uncle.
Yes. I will for a minute. I'm just going to lie down for a minute before I leave.
Here's a riddle for you. On 4 legs in the morning, on 2 legs at noon, and on 3 legs in the evening.
And flat on your back at night. Thanks. I can walk on my own.
You scare me to death.
He doesn't like living in the country. Be generous for once and loan him 1,500 or 2,000. He could live in the city for a whole year.
I have no money. I'm an actress, not a banker.
Mother, will you change my bandage for me? You're so good at it.
Arkadina takes out a box of bandages from the medicine cabinet.
Sit down. You know, you look like you're wearing a turban. Last night, Olga walked by. She wanted to know what country you were from. Ugh. No more of this when I'm gone. Promise?
I promise. It was just an insane moment. It won't happen again. You know, you have a magic touch. Do you remember when you were still acting in the State Theater? There was a fight one day in the courtyard where we lived, and a washerwoman was badly beaten. You brought her medicine and bathed her children. You don't remember?
No.
And there were 2 ballerinas who lived together in our house. They used to come and have coffee with you.
That I do remember.
They were very religious. In these last few days, I've loved you as tenderly as when I was little. I have no one left but you. Why do you let yourself be influenced by that man?
Konstantin, you don't understand him. He's a nobleman.
Is that why when he heard I was challenging him to a duel, he suddenly remembered he had a prior engagement?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm the one who had to beg him to go.
A noble man. You do realize that while we're in here arguing, he's probably out in the garden working on Nina, trying to convince her what a genius he is.
You enjoy saying terrible things to me. I have the greatest respect for him, and I won't have you insult him in front of me.
I have no respect for him. His books make me want to throw up.
That's envy. Pretentious people with no talent of their own have no other excuse than to run down those with real talent.
Real talent? I'm more talented than any of you. If you want to know the truth, you've lost it, all of you. You've reached the highest ranks in the art world. You think only what you do is legitimate and you dismiss everything else.
Oh, you got it all figured out, don't you?
Go back to your sacred theater. Keep acting in those tedious, trivial plays.
I have never acted in a play of that description. You couldn't write a wretched little music hall sketch. You'll never amount to anything. You're a nothing. You're a nobody.
You cheapskate.
Freeloader! Don't cry. Please, please don't. Please don't. Oh, my darling. My darling, forgive your wicked mother.
You don't know what it's like to lose everything. He doesn't love me. I can't write anymore. I've given up hope.
Don't give up. This too shall pass, you'll see. I'll take him away and she will love you again. Oh, Kostya. Oh, Kostya. We're friends again, aren't we?
Yes, Mother.
Make your peace with him. There's no need to fight. Is there?
All right. I'm going. Okay, the doctor can do my bandage later.
Page 121, lines 11 and 12. If you ever have any need of my life, come and take it.
The carriage will be here soon.
If you ever have any need of my life, come and take it.
I hope you're all packed.
Yes. It's a touch of sadness. Such a pure soul. If you ever have any need of my life, come and take it. Let's stay another day. Come on, please.
My dear, I know what is keeping you here, but try to exercise some control. You're a little drunk. Try to sober up.
Be reasonable. I'm begging you. Think of it the way a real friend would. I know you're capable of sacrifice. Be my friend. Set me free.
Do you think you're in love with her or something?
I'm attracted to her. Maybe this is what I need.
The love of some country girl? You really don't know yourself at all, do you?
I'm standing here talking to you, but at the same time, it feels like I'm fast asleep and I'm dreaming of her. Let me go free.
I'm an ordinary woman. You can't talk to me like this. Don't torture me, Boris.
You could be extraordinary if you wanted to. Love. Youthful, poetic, erotic. Only love can bring true happiness. When I was young, I was too busy, always struggling to get my work out there. But now, finally, love has come to me. I mean, why should I run away from it?
You've completely lost your mind.
You have to let me go.
Am I so old and hideous that you can talk to me like this about another woman? Oh, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You gorgeous, wonderful man. You are my last page. My pride, my happiness, my light. I won't survive. I won't survive if you abandon me even for an hour. I'll go insane. My brilliant, glorious man, my master.
Someone might come in.
Let them. I'm not ashamed of my love for you. You want to drive me into madness, but I won't let you. You're mine. This forehead is mine. These eyes are mine. This beautiful hair is mine. You're mine. You're so talented and original, and you are the best writer in Russia. You are our only hope. You're truthful and clever. You can describe the entire essence of a character in a single stroke. Your characters live and breathe. You think I'm flattering you? That I'm exaggerating? Look into my eyes. Look. I am the only one who knows how to appreciate you. The only one who knows how to tell you the truth. My love, my brilliant, you'll come with me. You're not going to abandon me, are you?
I have no will of my own. I never have. I'm too submissive, too passive. How can any woman find me that attractive? Take me with you. Don't let me out of your sight.
I mean, you should stay if that's what you really want. I'll go on my own and you can catch up with me in a week or so. Really, what's the hurry?
No, let's go together.
If that's what you want, we'll go together then. What are you writing?
Oh, I heard a phrase this morning, a grove of maiden pines. So, we're off again. More railway carriages, train stations, restaurants, lamb chops, endless conversations.
My dear lady, I'm sorry to have to inform you that the horses are ready. Time to leave for the station. The train's due at 2:05. Would you be so kind, Irina Nikolaevna, to inquire about the actor Suzdalnitz? Is he alive? What's he been up to? He and I had some great times together. You should have seen him in the mail robbery. There was no one like him. A tragedian called Ismailov was in the same company. He was also very good. There's no rush, madam. You have 5 minutes. They once played thieves in some melodrama, and during one particular performance, when they'd been surrounded, Ismailov was supposed to say, "Caught in a trap." But instead he said, "Taught in a crap." In a crap.
While he's been talking, Yakov has been busy with the luggage. Arkadina puts on her hat, fur coat, umbrella, and gloves.
Some plums for your journey. You might want to nibble them along the way.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Polina.
Goodbye, darling. If we've done anything to upset you, please forgive us.
Everything was wonderful. Just wonderful. Please don't cry.
We have to leave or else we'll miss the train.
I'll walk to the station and see you off there.
Well, goodbye, everyone. If we're alive and well, we'll see you again next summer. Don't forget me.
God to be with you.
Here's a ruble. Oh, it's to be split among the three of you.
Don't forget to write us. Goodbye, sir.
Where's Konstantin? Tell him we're going. I must say goodbye to him.
Is that you?
I've made a decision once and for all. The die is cast. I'm going to be an actress. I'm leaving my father. I'm abandoning everything. I'm starting a new life. I'm going just like you to Moscow.
Stay at Slaviansky Bazaar. Let me know as soon as you get there. Grolsky House, Molchnovka Street.
One more minute.
I can't believe I'm gonna get to see you again so soon. I'm gonna get to see these wonderful eyes again, this wonderful soft smile. Your gentle face as pure as an angel, my darling.
A long kiss. Act 4, 2 years later. One of the drawing rooms in Sorin's house converted into a study for Konstantin. In the center, a glass door leading out to the veranda. Besides the usual furniture, there's a writing desk, a Turkish divan, a bookcase, and books piled on windowsills and chairs. Evening. A single shaded lamp is lit. The sound of the trees rustling and the wind howling in the chimneys.
Konstantin Ravilievich! Konstantin! His uncle keeps asking for him. Where's Kostya? Where's Kostya? He can't live without him.
He hates being alone. Ooh, listen to that wind. 2 days of this.
And there are giant waves on the lake.
We should tell them to demolish that stage out there. It's still standing, as bare and repulsive as a skeleton, with the curtains flapping in the wind. When I walked past it last night, it sounded like there was someone in there, weeping.
Please.
Let's go home, Masha.
I'm staying here tonight.
Masha, please, the baby must be hungry.
Nonsense. Matronia will feed him.
It's not right to leave him 3 nights without his mother.
You have gotten so boring. You used to talk about things every once in a while, but now it's just baby home, baby home.
Let's go, Masha.
You go if you want to.
Your father won't give me a horse.
Yes, he will. Ask him.
All right, I'll ask him. Are you coming home tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow. What is all of this, Mother? Fyodor Nikolaevich wants a bed made up in Konstantin's room. I'll make it.
Well, I'm going. Goodbye, Masha. Goodbye, Mother.
I will go on if you're going.
Goodbye, Konstantin Gavrilovich.
Who would have thought? Kostya, you turn out to be a real author. And now look at you, getting paid by magazines. You also turn out very handsome, too. Dear Kostya, couldn't you just show a bit of affection to my Mashenka? Leave him alone, Mother. A woman doesn't need much. Just a look every once in a while. I should know from experience. Now you have made him angry. I told you not to bother him. I feel sorry for you, Mashenka. What good does that do me? My heart aches for you. I see everything and I understand. You don't see anything. Unrequited love is something that only happens in novels. It's nonsense. All you have to do is keep a grip on yourself and expect nothing. Once love has driven its way into your heart, you just have to gouge it out again. They promised to transfer my husband to another district, and as soon as we move, I will forget everything. I'll rip it out by the roots.
2 rooms away, someone is playing a melancholy waltz.
Kostya's playing. It means he's depressed. The important thing is not to have to see him anymore. If they'd only give my Semyon his transfer, I'll forget him in a month. I'll be so stupid.
Dorn and Medvedenko come in, pushing Sorin in his wheelchair.
6 mouths to feed now, and flowers at 2 kopecks a pound.
That's a tough one.
It's easy for you to laugh. You never have to worry about money.
You think I have money? After 30 years of being a doctor, my friend, in a practice so relentless I can't call my soul my own for a single day or night. In the end, all I ever managed to save was $2,000, which I spent on my trip abroad.
You're still here?
How can I leave? They won't give me a horse.
You disgust me. I wish we never met.
You've made a lot of changes. You turned the drawing room into a study.
Konstantin likes to work in here. He can step out into the garden to think whenever he feels like it.
Where's my sister?
She went to the station to meet Trigorin.
If you felt it was necessary to call for my sister, I must be seriously ill. If I'm so ill, why won't you give me any medicine?
What should I prescribe? Valerian drops, quinine, chamomile tea?
Don't torture me with your philosophy of life. Is that for me?
It is for you, Pyotr Nikolaevich.
Thank you. Konstantin, I have an idea for a story for you. It's called The Man Who Wanted To. L'homme qui a voulu. In my youth, I wanted to be a writer, and I failed. I wanted to be a good speaker, and I was completely hopeless, as you know. I wanted to get married, never did. I always wanted to live in the city. And here I am, ending my days in the country, if you know what I mean.
You wanted to become district councillor and succeeded.
I didn't want that. It just happened.
Complaining about life when you're 62 isn't very dignified.
Why are you so... Can't you see I want to live?
Don't be obstinate. Every life comes to an end. It's the law of nature.
You're only saying that because you've lived a full life. But even you are afraid of death.
Fear of death is only logical for people who believe in an afterlife and are going to have to pay for their sins. But for you, one, you're not a believer, and two, what sins have you committed? You served 25 years in the Justice Department.
28.
We're keeping Konstantin Gavrilovich from his work.
No, that's all right.
When you were abroad, Doctor, which city did you like the best?
Genoa.
Why Genoa?
It has a wonderful street life. When you step out of your hotel in the evening, the entire street is packed with people, and you get caught up in the throng, drifting along with any sort of aim or purpose. And after a while, their life almost seems to be your life. Their energy bleeds into yours. And you begin to believe in a universal soul, like the one Nina Zaretnaya portrayed in your play. By the way, where is Nina now? Is she all right?
As far as I know.
I heard she was living some kind of strange life. What happened?
It's a long story, Doctor.
Give us the short version.
Well, she ran away from home and went to live with Trigorin. You knew that, didn't you?
Yes.
She had a baby. The baby died. Trigorin lost interest in her and renewed his former connections. So no big surprise there. Not that he'd ever lost them, but somehow he managed to keep it all going at the same time. From everything I've been told, Nina's life has been a complete disaster.
What about the theater?
Even worse, apparently. I mean, she made her debut at the Summer Theater in Moscow, then left on a provincial tour. During that time, I never lost sight of her. For a while, I followed her wherever she went. She always took leading roles, but played them awkwardly. Her voice was flat and her gestures were all over the place. Once in a while, you could see some real talent behind all the posturing, and she died pretty well.
Then she does have talent.
I could never tell. I think she does. I saw her, but she always refused to see me. The servants wouldn't allow me in her hotel room. What else can I tell you? She started to write me after I came home. She wrote these interesting, warm letters. She never complained, but I could tell she was unhappy. And you could sense it in every line. She always signed herself the Seagull. Yeah. And she's here now.
What do you mean here?
She's staying at the inn. She's been here for 5 days. I was going to see her. Masha tried, didn't you? But she won't see anyone. Semyon Semyonovich told me he saw her wandering in the fields last night, just over a mile from here.
She was walking away from the house towards the village. I asked her why she hadn't been to see us. She said she would come.
She won't. Her father and stepmother have disowned her. They even put watchmen all around the state so she can't get near the house.
She was a lovely girl. Even District Councilor Sorin was in love with her for a little while.
You old dog.
Shamreyev is heard off stage.
They're back from the station.
We all get old, but you alone, my dear lady, with your light dress, your lively spirit, your grace, you remain eternally young.
Stop trying to flatter me, you tedious man.
How do you do, Peter Nikolaevich? You're not ill again, are you? And how are you, Miss Masha?
Do you recognize me?
Are you married?
Oh, ages ago.
And are you happy? Irina Nikolaevna tells me you've forgotten the past and you're not angry with me anymore.
Boris Alexievich brought you the magazine with your new story.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Your admirers send their regards. Everyone in Moscow and Petersburg wants to know all about you. They ask me what you look like, how old you are, is your hair dark or light? And of course, since you published under a pseudonym, no one knows your real name. You're as mysterious as the man in the iron mask.
Are you staying long?
No, I have to go to Moscow tomorrow. I've almost finished with a novel, and I promise a new story for an anthology, the usual.
During their conversation, Arkadina and Polina set up a card table in the middle of the room. Shamreyev lights candles and arranges the chairs. A game of Lotto is taken from the cupboard.
The weather gave me a rough welcome, and the wind is terrible. If it dies down tomorrow, I'll go fishing in the lake. And I have to look at the gardens again, and the spot you remember, where your play was performed. I have an idea for a story. I just have to see the setting one more time.
Father, let my husband have a horse. He needs to go home.
He needs a horse. He needs a horse. The horses have just come back from the station. They can't be sent out again.
There are other horses. You're impossible.
It's all right, Masha. I'll walk.
Walk? In this weather? Are we ready?
It's only 4 miles. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mother. I'm sorry to have bothered everyone, but the baby, Goodbye.
It won't kill him to walk. He's not a general.
Let's begin. We can't waste time. They're going to call us to supper any minute.
We used to always play Lotto during the long autumn nights. This set is the same one we used with our mother when we were children. Want to play a hand before supper? It's a stupid game, but it's not so bad once you get used to it.
She deals 3 cards to everyone. Konstantin is leafing through the magazine.
He's read his own story, but he hasn't even cut the pages of mine.
Want to play, Kostya?
I'm sorry, Mama. I don't feel like it.
Everyone ready? I'll begin. 22.
Oh, I've got it.
3?
Yes.
Did you put it down? 8. 81. 10.
Not so fast.
Can you believe the reception they gave me in Kharkov? My head is still spinning.
34.
A melancholy waltz is playing down the hall.
The students gave me such an ovation. 3 baskets of flowers, a wreath, this thing.
That is something.
50.
50.
I wore a stunning outfit. Say what you want about me, but I know how to dress.
Well, Konstantin's playing. The poor boy is depressed.
He doesn't get very good reviews.
77.
So who reads the reviews?
He's still developing, searching for his own voice. His writing is vague and a little bizarre, and it has a nightmarish quality. He's never created one single living character.
11.
Petrushia, are you bored? He's asleep.
The district councilor sleeps.
7. 90.
You know, if I lived on an estate like this beside a lake, do you think I could ever do any writing? I would do nothing but fish all day.
28.
Catching a perch or a bass.
That's
my idea of heaven.
I have faith in Konstantin. He's got something. He thinks in images. His stories are vivid and colorful. They affect me deeply. It's a shame his work has no definite point to it. He creates an impression, that's all. And you can't get far on impressions alone. Are you pleased, Irina Nikolaevna, that your son's a writer?
Do you know, I still haven't read anything he's written. I never have the time.
26.
By the way, Boris Alexeyevich, we have that thing of yours.
What thing?
The seagull that Konstantin Gavrilovich shot. You asked me to have it stuffed.
Did I? I don't remember that.
98.
No. My card is full.
Bravo! Bravo!
Bravo!
Whatever he does, that man always has good luck. All right, let's eat, shall we? Our renowned guest didn't eat any lunch today. We'll play some more later. Kostya, leave your work for a while. Come and join us.
I don't want anything, Mother. I'm not hungry.
Suit yourself. Time for supper, Petrushia. Petrushia, let me tell you how they received me in Kharkov.
Polina blows out the candles on the table. Then she and Dorn roll the wheelchair out. Konstantin remains on stage alone at his desk. He prepares to write by looking over what he has already written.
I've gone on so much about new forms, but now it feels like I'm somehow becoming conventional myself. The poster on the wall cried out. A pale face framed by dark hair cried out, framed cliches. I'll just start from where he wakes up from the rain and cut the rest. The description of the moonlit evening it's too long and unnatural. Trigorin's worked out his own style. I mean, it comes easily to him. He gives you the neck of the bottle reflecting the moonlight and dark shadows under the meal well, and there's your moonlit night. But when I describe the shimmering light, the twinkling stars, the faraway sounds of a grand piano, it's pathetic. I'm becoming more convinced that it's not a question of new forms and old forms, but allowing ideas to flow from the heart without worrying about forms at all.
A knock is heard on the window near his desk.
What's that?
He opens the glass door and looks out into the garden.
Who's there? Nina? Nina! It's you. It's you. I've had a feeling all day. You're here now. Don't cry. Please don't cry.
Someone's coming.
No one's coming.
Lock the door.
No one's coming.
I know your mother's here. Lock the door.
Look, there's no lock on that door, but I'll put a chair in front of it. Don't be afraid. No one will come in.
It's nice and warm in here. This used to be the drawing room. Have I changed much?
You have. You've lost weight and your eyes look bigger. Nina, why didn't you come sooner? I went to visit you several times a day. I stood beneath your window like some kind of beggar.
I was afraid you'd hate me. Every night I dream that you look at me and don't recognize me. I've been wandering around the shore of this lake since I came back. I kept coming close to your house, but never had the guts to come in. Can we sit down? It's so warm and cozy here. Do you hear the wind outside? There's a line in Turgenev, happy is the man who has a roof over his head and a warm corner to rest in. I'm the seagull. No, that's not... What was I saying? Oh, yes, Turgenev. And may God help all homeless wanderers.
Nina, please don't.
It's nothing. It feels good, in a way. I went into the garden last night to see if our old stage was there, and it is. It's still standing. And I cried for the first time in 2 years, and it helped. I could feel something inside of me lift. You see, I've stopped. So, you're a writer now, and I'm an actress. We've both jumped into the fire. I used to be happy, like a child. I loved you and dreamed of being famous. And look at me now. Tomorrow morning, I'm traveling 3rd class to Yelets with the peasants. I signed up for the winter season. It's time to go.
No, Nina, wait, please. Look, for a long time, I hated you. Okay, I tore up your photograph, but I'm not strong enough to stop loving you. Okay. Ever since I lost you, my life's become unendurable. I've called out to you. I've kissed the ground you've walked on. Everywhere I look, I see your face, your beautiful smile.
Why? Why are you...
I'm so alone. There's no warmth in my life. Every day I write, everything I write is dry, flat, and depressing. Look, stay here, Nina. Please, or let me go away with you. Nina, where are... For God's sakes, Nina!
The horses are at the gate. Don't see me off. I'd rather go alone. Can I have some water?
Konstantin hands her a glass of water.
Where are you going?
Back to the village. Is your mother here?
Yes. My uncle fell ill on Thursday and we sent a telegram for her to come.
Why'd you say you kiss the ground I walk on? I deserve to be killed. I'm so tired. I'm the seagull. No, that's not... I am an actress.
She hears Arkadina and Trigorin laughing. Listens closely for a moment.
So, he's here too. He never believed in the theater. He used to laugh at my dreams, and after a while, I lost faith in myself. And then when my little boy died, I became lifeless. I started to act badly. I never knew what to do with my hands. You have no idea what it's like to be on stage and know you're a bad actor. I'm the seagull. No, that's not... Do you remember when you shot that seagull? A man happens to come by, and for lack of anything better to do, he destroys her. An idea for a short story. What was I saying? Right. The theater. I'm not like that anymore. I'm a proper actress. I enjoy acting. I love it. I'm intoxicated by it. I know now, Kostya, I understand that in our work, whether it's acting or writing, it isn't fame that matters. It's none of those things I used to dream about. It's about having the strength to endure, to be able to bear your cross and hold on to some kind of faith.
Look, you found your way and you know where you are going. But I'm still drifting through illusions and images. I don't even know what any of it's for. I've lost all faith in myself.
I have to go. Goodbye. When I've become a great actress, you'll have to come and see me. Do you promise? But now, I I feel lightheaded. I'm hungry.
Wait, I'll get you some supper.
No, don't see me off. I can go on my own. The horses aren't far. Don't say anything to Trigorin when you see him. I love him. Even more than I used to. An idea for a short story. Remember how everything used to be, Kostya? What a pure life we had. All human beings, lions, eagles, and partridges, antlered deer, geese, spider, silent fish beneath the waves, starfish, and invisible microscopic creatures. All living things have died out at last. For thousands of centuries, no living species has moved across the face of the earth. In vain, the poor moon shines her light.
She embraces Konstantin impulsively and runs through the glass door. He proceeds for the next couple of minutes to tear up his manuscripts, throw them under the table. Then he unlocks the door and goes out.
Strange. This door used to be locked. Seems to be locked.
He comes in and puts the armchair back where it belongs.
It's an obstacle course in here.
All right, we'll put the wine and the beer on the table. We'll drink while we play. Sit down, everyone.
Oh, and bring the tea.
She lights the candle and sits at the card table. Shamreyev is taking Trigorin over to the bookcase.
This is what I was talking about.
He takes the stuffed seagull out of the bookcase.
You told me to have it done.
I don't remember that.
A shot is fired off the stage.
What was that?
It's nothing. Probably something exploded in my medicine bag. Nothing to worry about. Happens all the time. Just as I thought, a bottle of ether burst.
It scared me. It reminded me of everything went black.
There was an article from America in this a couple of months ago, and I wanted to ask you about it. The thing I've never completely understood is you have to get Irina Nikolaevna out of here, however you like. The fact is, Konstantin shot himself.
Hello, and thank you everyone so much for watching this reading of The Seagull. I'm Aren Haun, and I adapted this play, and I started adapting this play about 1.5 years ago. So it's been a real journey for me, and it's a real pleasure to have these wonderful actors get together and have this reading. And so thank you again so much for coming. And if you have any feedback, anything about the play, because this is an adaptation, this is a new work in a sense, and so I'm very open to hearing from you. But mostly just I really appreciate everybody coming, and have a great night. Thank you.